Wanted to make sure I wasn't muted this time.
No, you're not. You're not.
But what's going on, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? We are here and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of Nothing But Readers Podcast, episode 21. Definitely in the building. Bro, what's up, man? Where the hell you been at, man?
What's man? Busy
With this work and everything. We should be on episode 30 by now with you.
This job, man. Life be making me work. Hopefully I get to the day where I can work for myself. But I don't know. I like my job too much to stop working though. But
because you're working from home, that's why.
I mean that and what I do. I'm a mental health counselor for teens, so it's kind of like rewarding for me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I dig it. But shout out to everybody that's actually going to be watching this episode here. Make sure y'all share the live. Make sure y'all tell everybody that we are definitely in the building for another episode of the Nothing But Readers podcast. But I have to change the background a little bit. You know why?
Why?
Because we have a guest on today.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, we have a guest on today, ladies and gentlemen. But before we bring that guest up here, make sure y'all go to SeatGeek.com and use that promo code SRT for all your live concerts, sports, events, anything that's actually live. Use the promo code SRT and get $20 off your first purchase, ladies and gentlemen. And the Fanatics is definitely having their deal right now. So I do have a link just for strictly for Raiders gear. So if you go to the link in the description, the Raiders gear link is definitely in there. But we're going to go with our guest today from Protect the Shield podcast. What is up, my brother? What is going on?
What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all feeling today, man?
I'm loving the background with the Bo Jackson and the Charles Woodson. I'm kind of jealous about that. I'm not
appreciate it, man. Them is my dogs, man. Bo was what got me started with the Raiders, and then Chuck, Chuck's my dog. With me being a Michigan fan, man, I loved him ever since.
Oh, that was like your Tim Brown then. See, for me, that's
man.
Tim Brown. He went to Notre Dame. That's my team, and I like Tim Brown. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that was just, oh man, love that dude.
But we here to talk a little bit about a Raiders football.
Touchdown Raiders!
So we're going to talk some Raiders football, but we heard the news yesterday about Jimmy Garoppolo. Of course, we have to start it off with that.
Yeah.
And he's going to be back by training camp. I had my issues with Jimmy Garoppolo and how I felt about it. And Leo knows that. He knows how I feel about Jimmy Garoppolo. If he's healthy, then hopefully he could be the upgrade that we needed to Derek Carr. Because I did go off of my other show. It was a Darian Hopkins show about how the Raiders did Derek Carr wrong, on his way out. And Derek Carr gave them the middle finger, not intentionally, but he gave them the middle finger with his godly self. It said F the Raiders, and that's exactly what he did.
And then he prayed for us.
They prayed for
How do y'all feel about the news coming out about Jimmy Garoppolo finally saying that he'll be back by training camp? And I know y'all saw the content day video on the Raiders channel. Finally seeing him in uniform. Look like the foot is fine to me. So, I mean, what's y'all thoughts on it? I'd love to know.
I know me personally, man. I think I think we already kind of, at least me personally, I was never worried about Jimmy, man. And I think what reassured me was listening to McDaniel's press conference the other day when he was saying, I don't have no anxiety about it. Just the way that he looked for someone that understands that it has to work this year and they're betting on Jimmy. If Jimmy fails, them guys is out of here. Josh is probably out of here. Ziegler might be out as well. So for someone that knows that their butt's on the line, he seemed real confident. So I felt good when I heard it. It was just a reassurance for me.
What about you, Leo? Because I know you had some things to say. Is he frozen?
I did. You know what? I wasn't.
No. I thought you was frozen real quick. I thought you was frozen. Wait a minute now.
I was deep in thought. No, you know what? I wasn't as panicked as the nation was.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that to hear that training day he's going to be ready. We always know with him, he can get injured quick, so we don't know what can happen. My whole thing was like, there better be a plan to follow up, knowing that we're going to start the season with Jimmy and it's going to go according to plan, and seeing him on his foot, not in a boot, he's walking around, things like that. It makes me feel better knowing that, okay, come training day, come training camp, that he's going to be there and they're going to get things going. But like I said, we talked about this before. OTAs are OTAs. It's a freaking walkthrough. We ain't doing much anyway. But if he can start being there by training day, by training camp, and be ready and start getting to work in with these boys, then I'll feel a lot better. Yeah.
Well, I know y'all was not going to sit here and act like y'all wasn't panicking that Aiden O'Connell might would have got the start by week 1.
I would have preferred him over Hoyer. I'm not gonna lie. Let's see what
Honestly,
got.
I was at this point like, listen, go is the second wave of free agency is coming around. Go get Teddy Bridgewater. Shit, go get his ass.
Man.
I'd rather have Cam. I'd rather have Cam personally.
I don't know about. See, that's the thing. Do Cam want to play football? That's the problem. He got his podcast going, and stuff like that. But right now we have a Teddy Bridgewater that's probably the best available in this second round of free agency. He's mobile. He's manageable, just like Jimmy Garoppolo. You don't have to put too much pressure on him. I mean, he could be a number 2 for us. I'd rather have him as a number 2 than Brian Hoyer. That's just me, but I understand the Patriot way and stuff of that nature. But I'm not a fan of Brian Hoyer. I like athleticism, so I would prefer somebody athletic as your number 2 than to have Hoyer that's not athletic at all, look like a goddamn soccer dad.
I just saw him too on the Raider Roundtable. I like, damn, he does look like a soccer dad.
Yeah, he looks like a soccer dad. Like, he just need to cut it to make his hair go fully bald. Don't let it grow back in. And don't use no Rogaine, none of that stuff. So,
yeah.
I thought Teddy Bridgewater probably would have been available if we didn't, have Jimmy Garoppolo start at that time. But hey, he's gonna be ready by training camp, and let's see what happens there. So,
but even if Jimmy goes down, I don't think you bring in a Cam or a Teddy. You go with the dudes you have there. You have Gabbert, you have Hoyer, you have the rookies. See how he develops. I mean, remember last time we had a quarterback named Schaub, a rookie balled out in the preseason game. He became the starter for the next 9 years for us. So you never know what you can have. You got to roll with it. But I think bringing in somebody like Teddy, like the whole point of moving on from Carr was having somebody familiar with my system.
Yep.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah. But if you look at Brian Hoyer's career, what has he done under that Patriot system? Let's be realistic here.
He hasn't had to.
Let's be realistic here.
He hasn't had to, though.
He really hasn't had to.
So the only reason why I say bring in Bridgewater, because I just feel like Brian Hoyer, if just God forbid something happens to Jimmy Garoppolo, and I really hope that Aiden O'Connell actually win the number 2 slot for QB over Brian Hoyer, in my opinion. But we do got to chase Garbers that looked good last season,
right?
As well. But a lot of Raider Nation don't see it for Chase Garbers. I think he played really well in the preseason.
If you remember, there was a lot of discussion on who they were going to keep, Stiddy or Garber. Like, they were neck and neck.
Yeah.
And I think Stiddy may have had a little better game that last game. So he kind of got the nod as far as depth chart goes. But Garber's, I mean, honestly, like, and then I look at Hoyer. So when you look at Hoyer, I feel like he knows the system better than anyone that we could possibly have, including Stidham, and Stidham came in and was able to run the offense. I think Hoyer could do it if he had to. But bringing in someone like Teddy, that's a whole different scheme he has to learn. At least Cam kind of is familiar with it a little bit, which, I mean, I'm not saying I want Cam, but it's just like at this point I want somebody that can at least hit the ground running. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah,
agreed. I 100% agree there. I really do, but I'm just not a fan of Brian. Maybe I'm just not a fan of Brian Hoyer. I'm just not, man. I'm not a fan of Brian Hoyer being the number 2. God forbid something happens to Garoppolo and we got to deal with him.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not ready for that. I'm
with you.
sorry. I'm just not ready for that type of situation with him. I don't know why this layout is not working the way I want it to work, but okay, whatever. I don't know if it's me. Yeah, it might be me. Y'all can see it on y'all end. Long as y'all can see it on y'all end, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
we can
keeping
see
like
it.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
It shows.
Gucci right there. We
yeah,
Gucci.
it's good. I just want to make sure I didn't want to keep you all the way down low where the lower third is and be like, oh, he just like I just want to make sure you was actually in the camera. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
But shout out to everybody that's in the chat from DeMarcus Webb, Anthony Estrada, Robert Pena, Raider Dangerfield, Florida Boy. Anthony Estrada says, remember when Stidham balled out in the preseason, it then came to the last couple of games, was all right. Yeah. So I mean, it's for me, like I'm just not a fan of Brian Hoyer. I never was and I never will be. So it's just
I feel that.
I understand that it's a Patriot thing. You want to bring all the Patriots guys over here, and people want to call us the Las Vegas Patriots or the New England Raiders, one of those natures there. But I mean, if you look at New Orleans about
they're New Orleans Raiders.
Right.
They're the New Orleans Raiders. Yeah.
What Brian Edwards is there now, Jonathan Abram, Derek Carr. Now is a possibility Gruden might be on the coaching staff there. Man.
Foster Moreau's there, yeah.
Foster Moreau is there, yeah. Mm-hmm. So
they were the contender, for the Renfro trade. It was going to be New Orleans, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm glad they shut that out, though.
I'm glad too.
I said this though. I said this on my own. I don't know if you saw my show earlier, Leo, but I said that the New Orleans Saints is probably going to be a surprise team to give the Eagles a run in the NFC just because of that defense. I don't know about the offense just yet because it's uncertain. Right. But that defense has been top 10 for the last 5 years. I mean, that defense has really done them good, no matter who the quarterback was. At the time when Jameis Winston was throwing 30 interceptions, they still had a top 10 defense.
Yeah, that defense is good. I mean, and the benefits them is the division they're in. The division they're in, it's easier for them to be able to come out winning that division. Now to challenge the Cowboys, Niners, and Eagles, we'll see. That still remains to be seen when they play them. But I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, yeah.
How many games is Kamara out? Have they said yet?
Well, they didn't actually give him a date of what his suspension is supposed to be.
So I mean,
they haven't even confirmed his suspension.
Oh, they haven't? Oh,
no. Yeah, I'm about to say I heard them talk about it, but I didn't see nothing solidified. So, and plus I don't trust Michael Thomas. He's, he'll be injured.
They said that he's back. I mean, he has him on a 1-year prove-it deal too.
Yeah, it is a 1-year prove-it deal.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't fear them, but I mean, for the division that they're in. Leo, like you said, I mean, they'll probably make a little bit of noise. People's going to think Carr's a savior, but they're not playing nobody. They're playing scrubs.
I think it'll show whenever they face, like I said, the Niners, Dallas, or the Eagles.
Yeah,
when they face those big three.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I know you don't, but there's still one of the.
Yeah,
no, we're not going to sit here and do that. We're not going to sit here and do that.
You know what? We'll have that discussion on your show.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys stink, and I had a topic on my show saying, "Will the Dallas Cowboys offense strong enough to win them a Super Bowl?" Absolutely not. You know why? Because Dak Prescott. It's something about wearing that number 4. It's just not good for people.
Yeah, they're very average.
Yeah, very average. But I told the Raider Nation, and I know he might not believe me down here, but I said Derek Carr might have a great season this year. He might have a better season than he had in the last 2 seasons with the Raiders. Just because of the weapons that he has,
he'll definitely have a better
season than the defense that he got.
He'll definitely have a better season than he had last year.
Yeah. I think
it was bad.
He'll be comfortable, but how is the Saints line? Because his poor pocket presence is always going to be the death of him. So I don't even know how's their O-line.
Their O-line is still. I think their O-line is still pretty good though. I've never really seen them like with Andy. Well, I mean, Andy Dalton is definitely not great. Let's just keep that a buck. He ain't been the same since the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. But Andy Dalton was not an upgrade for them. I mean, Derek Carr pocket presence might be a little bit better than what Andy Dalton has. So, I mean, the offensive line is pretty good. I mean, Alvin Kamara still running the way he runs, still getting over 1,000 yards and stuff of that nature. And you know what? Their offensive line kind of reminds me of our offensive line in some ways, but our offensive line is a little bit uncertain compared to what the Saints is, but they have a great run offensive line, and the passing is just like the Las Vegas Raiders. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's absolutely the same. And speaking of the offensive line, I really wanted to talk about, that as well, because now the second round of free agency is coming. It's still a lot of offensive linemen out there. Should we go out and go get some offensive linemen? And I'm kind of mad that freaking Leonard Floyd went to the Buffalo Bills. I think that we could have got him for a $7 million deal for the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm saying we need linebackers. We need linebackers. That's why I said it. But who in your eyes think that we could go out and get around this second round of free agency that's coming up? Like, when it comes to the offensive line, do we address the linebacker position, or do we stick with the guys that we have?
Honestly, the way these guys have been going, I think they're good where they're at. I don't see them picking up any more free agents, big name free agents, maybe with the exception of Peters, because I know they're still working that out, how the money's going to be, things like that as far as other teams. But when you see them interviewing, when you watch all the videos on them, they seem pretty set on what they have, and even with the offensive line. Last year going into it, that was my biggest fear. Was how in the hell are these fools going to block for Jacobs? How are they going to block for Carr? And the rotation used to annoy me. I thought it was the dumbest thing that we were doing was rotating offensive linemen during the year. But then they caught on. Like, mid-season, these dudes started, holding their own, especially in the run game. They started holding their own, finish top 10, 15, whatever. So I think they're good with what they're doing, and they're just going to keep on improving on that. I know a lot of us want that big name offensive lineman to come to be the anchor, things like that. But as far as the way this regime, the way they're doing things, I think they're going to be just set with what they have, bro. They believe in the dudes they have.
Yeah, I kind of second that. Just when you listen to them talk, one thing I like about this coaching staff, where I know a lot of the Raider fans, they're not feeling it, but they value developing players. Like they don't believe in building your team by acquisitions. And that's one thing I like listening to McDaniel say. So, I mean, I feel that if we can really develop Parham, what's his name? Natane Moody that we got from the Broncos. That dude apparently is one of the strongest dudes in the NFL. Then we got, I hate Brandon Parker. So, I'm not even gonna mention him.
We on the same. Listen,
oh man,
I have scrutinized Brandon Parker so many times on this show.
He is literally he's one of the worst football players I've seen, and that's even including Leatherwood. Like Leatherwood is better than Brandon Parker, man. And I'm sorry, that dude.
Listen, you're right there with me, man. You're right there with me because I still have to have not. You got to remind me to send you the video of my reaction when we got Alex Leatherwood in the draft.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst. I don't even want to get into it. I was seeing so many F-bombs in that video. It made no sense, brother. But I agree here that they want to build through what they have. I agree. But I'm nervous about the linebacker position more than I am the offensive line.
The linebacker is more nervous.
That's my only issue. Like, even though Marcus Peters is one of those guys that hopefully we could get how much he wants on top of that.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of linebackers out there that we can get on a minimum. I mean, Spillane, he played on the other side of he played okay for Pittsburgh. He's not a guy that he's a thumper. He's not a Denzel Perriman, when he's
a run stuffer.
He's a run stuffer, and that's been our problem. And our problem been covered linebackers. That's been our problem for the last 20 years. We couldn't find we really haven't drafted a real linebacker until this year when we got Amari Burney.
Yeah.
How long has Kelsey been killing us?
Kelsey been killing us since he's been drafted.
Right. and then before him, I mean, What Antonio? I mean, we've always been murdered by
By
tight
the-
ends. Antonio
by tight
Gates,
ends.
Gonzalez.
Yeah,
We've
Gonzalez.
always got murdered, man.
Well, I mean, if you look at our actual, if you look at our actual division and look at the tight ends that came through our division, the Gonzalez and the Antonio Gates, you know, I mean,
Shannon Sharp, yeah,
Shannon Sharp. I mean,
Yeah. Who did Denver have for a while? What, Julius Thomas or somebody?
Julius Thomas.
He was a monster for.
And then they traded Noah Fant too. They traded Noah Fant. Remember?
Yeah.
So he used to kill us at one point. So
Yeah.
linebacker is my big thing. That's why I was like, why are we gonna go out and get a Leonard Floyd or go out and get somebody that's available that can really help us here? I think the lack of depth in the linebacker position is really what our biggest need is. Yes, Amari Burney, we got him in the later rounds. We passed up on a lot of good linebackers that we could have got instead of getting Amari Burney in that draft. So for me, Devon Diablo, I think he's still learning the linebacker position. I think he's not a linebacker in the NFL. That's just my personal opinion because he was drafted as he was coming out as a safety out of Virginia Tech. Remember when we got Tanner Muse from Clemson? He was a safety slash.
That was another one. Yep.
Yeah.
He's still in the NFL somewhere. I think he's on the last time I remember he was on the Seattle Seahawks, but he might be on a different team now.
Yeah, I think I like Diablo. I think he'll be fine. So I know he's wearing the green dot, but do we got him on outside or inside backer? I can't remember.
Well, usually with the green dot, they usually inside, have them as the middle linebacker.
Yeah. So, but then what is Robert going to be playing? Because
Robert might be playing that outside. He did play outside the opposite side of Devin Bush in Pittsburgh.
Okay, so he was outside. Okay, for some reason I thought he was middle. So okay,
he could play both though, depending on the rotation or how they set their linebackers up in Pittsburgh. He usually played a little bit of both a middle and outside.
I don't want I don't want Luke out there though. Honestly, he can come in for depth. Luke Matherson, but
Luke Matherson.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, he's not a starting caliber guy, man.
No,
you know.
I think he is. I just think that depending on the sub packages you put him in, because one thing about I hate this form of defense is the 4-2-5. I hate the two linebacker system. I'm an old school guy. I'm more of a 4-3 or a 3-4 type of person. I hate the 4-2-5. I understand it's a passing league, but
yeah, I'm about to say them days are gone though.
We have two linebackers and you run them outside zones, they're gonna have to scrape over a little bit further than what they expected.
Yeah,
you don't have no outside linebacker.
They gotta cover a lot
more field.
They gotta cover a lot more of the field, and it makes a lot of our linebackers out of place. But knowing that we did get Tyree Wilson that can help out in the rotation from the pass rushers, hopefully he can help set the edge there so it doesn't have to help.
Yeah.
And as far as much for the linebackers to make it easier on the linebackers to come downhill and fill gaps, but I just want Patrick Graham to go back to what he did in New York, where he was mixing up packages. He was mixing up 4-3 with 3-4, 4-2-5, nickel, dime. He was mixing it up. Don't stay in one formation and you think you're going to get it done there. You're just not. Just like on the opposite side for an offense. You can't do that either because you can't stay in an I formation all three downs. They don't know what you're doing. It's predictable. So I just think for the linebackers, we needed more athleticism there.
Linebackers always been my biggest concern since we started this offseason. I saw no changes really. I mean, Spillane came, but he just filled in a position. Perriman left, and I get it. Perriman was injury prone, but so is Diablo. Diablo the last 2 years has gotten hurt, and he hasn't finished, and he's younger. Right. So I want to get excited about Diablo, hoping he finally gets it and he becomes that player. You hear the reports that he's looking good. He's got the green dot. But, bro, can you finish the season? Can you finish the season so we can see what you have, Yeah. Because there's a lot of faith on Diablo filling that role, filling that position, which is why they're not bringing in these other dudes or didn't go after them.
Is Kyle Van Noy still out there?
Or even maybe
he still is
Van
out
Noy's
there.
still out there.
Yeah.
He's still out there.
To me, he makes sense. He makes sense to me.
Yeah.
He makes sense. He can come in fairly quickly. But one thing I keep thinking about is which I don't think we see enough of is Malcolm Kuntz, but to me, I almost think he should be a 3-4 outside backer, man.
Outside backer.
Because he can rush, but I mean, to me, I know he's not as explosive, but he remind me of like a poor man's Von Miller. I mean, because he has some explosion, and for some reason, I don't know why he always is in the doghouse. I think he could play, man. If you guys remember the first snap he ever played, he got a sack. I think it was 2 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of him. I don't know why we don't play him enough.
They don't play him enough
at all.
Yeah, I don't understand why we don't play him enough either. It's like, because Malcolm Kuntz, I was really high on him. I think he came from Buffalo, the same place as Khalil Mack, and I feel like personally that when it comes to Malcolm Kuntz, he does need a little coaching. Don't get me wrong, I think he does need a little coaching. Yeah, but everybody needs a little coaching. In this. But when it comes to him, I think his athleticism, I think they underutilized him last season.
Me too.
They underutilized him so much to a point where I thought that
you forget about him.
You do. You're gonna forget about him.
Literally forgot about him.
Yeah.
And then now with the addition of Wilson, he's gonna be lost even more.
He may not make the team. I mean, honestly, he may not make the team.
Yeah. But he might not make the team. But this what makes Wilson so versatile. And people had a lot of issues about getting Tyree Wilson at 7. People fail to forget he plays inside and outside. So even if you could put him on the inside with those big boys with a Brian Young and those younger boys with Matthew Butler, Jeremy Tillery, he could play the inside. Because I even have a video breaking down our 7th overall pick, and you see a lot of those plays is from the inside.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to keep Malcolm Kuntz here, you can make some switches and have sometimes in some situations you have Wilson play inside. If Chandler Jones need a breather, throw Malcolm Kuntz in there. Have all 4. It's ways that you can do it.
Which, by the way, have you seen Chandler Jones lately?
Lost some weight.
I have seen
lost some weight.
I don't know if I like that though. I don't know if I like that.
No,
you like that?
I think
know, man.
Maybe versatile wise, pass wise, but maybe not run stuffing. But
maybe because he did look very slow last year.
He didn't
have so many. But my thing is part of his game is to use them long arms and power. He has power moves, but
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just kind of what my man was saying is moving Wilson inside. It scares me because I get flashbacks of Farrell, man. It's like, I don't know, man. Just moving the inside and outside.
Oh, yeah.
He's bigger than Farrell, and he's more athletic than Farrell. We know Cleveland Farrell. When it comes to Clemson, he played majority outside. They tried to put him inside.
Yeah.
But the difference with Tyree Wilson is
picked where he was at.
He played both at Texas Tech, so you got some little leniency there. It really depends on the situation in the scenario of why you put him in the middle. But I wouldn't say put him near 90% of the snaps. He's going to get rotation from Max Crosby and Chandler Jones on the outside, because that's where he's best at. Yeah. But it makes him so versatile that he could do both. It makes you want to mix and match and do things differently to keep Kuntz on his roster.
Good point. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know what they have against Kuntz. They just seem to be losing him. He gets lost in the mix.
I don't understand it I don't understand it, man. He was in Gruden's doghouse, but I don't know how he got in. I don't know. We'll see.
Now I saw something on Just Blog Baby yesterday, right? And I read their articles because they have some very interesting articles on that website. But I saw some Raiders, some former Raiders that's still free agents out there. And one person out of all of them stood out to me. Casey Hayward is still a free agent.
He didn't get picked up?
No, he's still out there. And you might say this because just in case, hypothetically, if we don't get Marcus Peters, you got to remember the year that Casey Hayward had when he was with us.
That's what I was thinking. That's what went straight to my head right now. He balled with us.
He balled with us. And I would love to go get him on a 1-year or a 2-year contract because I think we should never let him walk in the first place.
No,
that's just me. I understand we traded for Rock Ya-Sin, but you see Rock Ya-Sin found his first way out of Las Vegas in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Did he end up signing anywhere?
He's in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's in Baltimore.
Oh, okay. I wouldn't have mind having him back, to be honest. But no, that's actually a good point. Only thing about Hayward, he was more that cover 3 guy, you know, in Gus Bradley's scheme, man, because that's really all Gus Bradley did, and that's why I'm a little worried about Brandon Faison, man,
Coming
because
back.
because that Gus Bradley scheme is so one dimensional, and I don't even remember seeing Casey really thriving in man to man coverage. I don't think he has that speed anymore. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, he'd be worth looking at for the right price.
Yeah, I think so. If you know, if Marcus Peters has that high price that we can't afford,
yeah,
I think we could go get a quality back, a D back in Casey Hayward to fill that role, knowing that Brandon Faison is there. You could put Casey Hayward, and now you could put Hobbs back in the slot where he's best.
Where he belongs. That's Hobbs belongs in the slot.
He need to be there. He need to be there.
And I just feel like with Hobbs, even though he tried his best to play outside, he tried his best as possible, even though he broke his hand and stuff of that nature. But we know what Hobbs can do when he's in the slot.
Yeah,
and you can rotate with Amik. A lot of people think Amik might not make the team this year. I think he proved himself a little bit last year compared to the year before. Even though his height is an issue,
he got better.
He did get better.
He got better.
Height, bro. He better.
Oh man,
I just think. But if you look at Amik and when he got drafted, look how many. I think he got drafted under Gunther, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah,
under
it
Paul
was.
Gunther,
Yeah, I think
and
it was like his
had
last year. Yeah,
Gus Bradley, and now he got Patrick Graham. So he under three defensive coordinators. This is his second consecutive year under Patrick Graham.
Yeah.
So I think if we give him at least that one more year to be a depth piece and see how he can be in certain sub packages, I think he'll be all right. I'm not saying him as a starter, no.
Yeah, the thing is, just like we were talking about his height, man. I was so nervous with him guarding what's his name for the Chargers?
Oh, Mike Williams.
Oh man, that was not a good look, man. Like, get that man some milk, man. That boy.
Mike Williams is a beast. He's a big dude, though.
But I know, but you got to think that they also got what's the name, Quentin Johnson. So they got another big tall dude. So it's like
speedster too. That. Quentin Johnson can fly.
Yeah,
and we do got Duke Shelley that's going to be in competition with that as well. Duke Shelley, thank you, Dave Bigelow, for reminding me of that. Yeah. So Duke Shelley is another one.
Hall is still the one they're talking about, right?
We got what's his name? Sam Webb, another guy.
Sam Webb.
We got a young core of corners that which I don't think we really need much depth at, but I feel like going to get a Casey Hayward if we don't get Marcus Peters, that'll be our second option if Marcus Peters do not come through for us. I like Duke Shelley. I think Duke Shelley can come in and play, but I don't know if he's a what do you want to start Duke Shelley?
At what, at 2?
At the CB2.
A lot of people think that's why we brought him in.
In for. Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of people expect him to be DB1. I mean, with Hobbs in the slot, right. I don't think he's ready.
I mean, Duke Shelley played really. I mean, he played really good. I mean, with what was that, Minnesota? If I'm not mistaken. It was Minnesota. So I'm big on Duke Shelley. I thought he was pretty productive last year, and but I think a 1-year contract, man. We got to get these guys to at least multiple years to keep the defense together. Because if you look at it, our defense never stays together. They always got them for 1 year and they leave. Yeah. We gotta have some continuity on his defense. We just do, and I think we have that between our front seven and our linebackers. Besides Spillane coming over, but our D-backs, they in it like our D-backs is always different every year, and that's where no continuity is at. I mean, David Long's will come in as another safety. Trayvon Merrick, of course, we still going to have him. We're not bringing Deron Harmon back, which I thought we should have brought him back off of 1 year. I think we thought that for veteran reasons, but
we have that rookie right from Georgia.
We got the what's the guy? What's his name? Chris Smith. That can play. Chris Smith. Jacorian Bennett. So we got some guys, y'all. So this defense might be shaping up to be all right. But what do y'all look forward to when this defense finally when we get the 53-man roster, how do y'all feel about the defense so far right now and the pieces that we got? How confident are y'all?
I think that the defensive line is probably the part I'm most confident in, and that's me having faith that Tyree's going to ball out with us, with Chandler, with Max, Tillery on the inside with other dudes rotating. Having more of that rotation, we talked about it, having more depth on the D-line is going to be helpful. These dudes stay fresh. Max won't be tired come the fourth quarter at the end of the game, because he's been able to rest. A lot of that comes with me with that front line, and then the secondary learning how to work together to stop those big plays. My only concern and still will always continue to be the linebackers, how that's going to look. And until I see Divine doing it with Spillane, then I will not say different. But until then, that's still my biggest concern.
I agree. But I will say in today's game, and I know the chat might kill me on this, you guys might too. But I think linebacker is starting to be like not as an important position as it used to be. Just because it's such a passing league. So like the real run thumpers, I mean, like the like who we had Perryman and stuff like that. Like sometimes those guys are kind of going by the wayside. But I think if we get some athletic guys, which it looks like we're trying to do, but again, it's all about how these guys develop. That to me, that's the key to that whole defense. Cause we got some young boys like that interior and line. Like I wasn't a big Matthew Butler guy. And to be honest, I'm not sure how I feel about Byron Young. However, I think Neil Farrell's going to do well. I'm hearing good things about him. And my guy that I might be crazy, but I like my man that we got in the 7th round, that Nesta J. Severa.
Oh yeah, from Arizona.
I like him for some reason. He got that dog in him, man. And he may not even be a team. He might be a practice player, but for some reason, man, I love watching his tape, man. He just nasty. He's mean. He's what we need, man. But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I'm gonna be a little biased here because Matthew Butler is a Tennessee guy. Shout out to the University of Tennessee. That's my school right there. But watching Matthew Butler, I think he didn't get enough opportunity to be out there. Because if you look at it, he wasn't really on the injury report. And then they'll make him inactive on the field. Huh?
He was a healthy scratch a lot though.
He was a healthy scratch. I didn't like the fact that he was inactive so much and he just didn't suit up. You made him inactive, and I'm just like, you're not giving this guy, because for me, if people know the game of football, the way to get your reps in, yes, you're going to get your reps in practice, but you make your mistakes when you play live.
Live. Yeah.
Yep.
So not putting a person on a field to get those reps, I mean, what you supposed to expect from them?
Wasn't one of those times like disciplinary though?
Who?
For Butler. One of those.
No, it wasn't disciplinary for him.
No. Oh, okay.
I feel like I heard that too.
I never heard from any. I haven't heard any reports. I mean, people probably did.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard any reports on Matthew Butler. I just feel like he just didn't have a chance to get on the field, and I felt the same way about Neil Farrell sometimes. I'm like, we gotta look, if we're gonna draft these guys, we gotta see what they can do. In 3 games of preseason, you're not going to be able to see what everybody can do.
Yeah.
And people be like, "Oh, why did he make the roster? Why did they make the roster? Because there's only 3 games in preseason. What you want us to do?"
Yeah.
So
that's why I want to see how different our roster is going to become the 53-man roster. Because right now we got 91 if you add the international player. Yeah.
So what's going on, Twan? What's up, brother? What's going on, man? But let's talk about the wide receiver position, because this wide receiver position is ridiculous.
Deep.
The last time I remember, we had how many 11, 12 receivers on the roster right now?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, me either.
But I love to hear from my brother down there, bro. I love to hear from my brother how you feel about this wide receiver core. Is Renfro on the way out? Hopefully he's not, but is he on the way out?
So he's I don't think at first I thought he was. I can't lie. I would like to see him restructure his contract though. just to give us a little bit of relief. But I I like that wide receiver room, man. And I was one of those guys I was pissed off about Trey Tucker, but the more I've watched him and hearing about him, that boy might be something.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and honestly, because Leo, I know we talked about before, I'm a Waller guy. So I was looking closely to see who we got with that pick. And when when we got Trey Tucker, I had to go to bed at that point. I was just sick with it. But just going back to the receivers, I think Cam Smith, I think he'll have a spot. He'll be our big body receiver. I think people like Keelan Cole, I think he'll be on the outside looking in, even though I liked him last year, but he was off and on.
He didn't play enough for me.
Yeah. But I think, but overall, just to answer your question, overall, I like where we are with wide receiver. I think we'll have we'll have a tough decision with maybe some of those lower end guys, but I feel good about the receiver position.
See, with me, going back to the Trey Tucker. I'm still not a fan of it. I understand we are Raiders and speed kills. I get it.
I feel you.
What the thing that kills me is that he's short. He's short as hell.
like Jacoby Ford.
It'll be great for our return game. Get Renfro out of the return game.
Yeah.
I'll be good for that. But I feel like right there, we could have got Trey Tucker before. Mind you, Trey Tucker wasn't even the best receiver at Cincinnati. We could have got the best receiver at Cincinnati and put him in the slot. Then I would be fine with that. But Trey Tucker, yes, he has the speed. But I always have an issue with players that just have speed.
I'm with you.
You're one-dimensional and you can't run every route.
Mm-hmm.
That's my problem with this, because with the New England Patriots, you're going to have to run routes. You just can't run a 8 or you can't run a 9 and just think you're just going to fly out. No, you're not going to do that with Josh McDaniels in his office. You're just not. He's great in open space when he gets wide receiver screens and stuff of that nature.
But that's what I'm saying, though. But that's what makes me think they see something in him, because the Patriots aren't the type to go get like a Jacoby Ford, just a straight line sprinter. Like that's never been the Patriots.
Their forte.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So the fact that they saw and do we know that he can't do the whole route tree? Do we know? Or are we just saying
just for me watching him at Cincinnati, he didn't do the whole route tree.
And that was the knock on him in the draft.
That I did for Trey Tucker. I think he runs a lot of bubble. He runs a lot of, like it looks like a fly, but it's a skinny post if you want to name it that.
Yeah.
But as far as like, can he run those comebacks? Can he run those curls? Can he run those routes that you got to put a little bit more precision in your step, in your cut, So that's my only. I think right there we could have got a linebacker. That was a lot of linebackers left on the board that was athletic. Right there, you could have went and trade. You could have went up in. Like what? When we got him in the third round?
Third round, pick 100.
You could have got him in the fourth or the fifth. You really could have.
No, I'm with you 1,000%. I was pissed. I ain't gonna lie. I was pissed. I had to talk myself down off the ledge. so maybe I'm drinking too much Kool-Aid, but so I'm all right now. But no, I'm with you though, because there was other needs.
There was, and I like the receivers that they brought in, so many, because at this point last year, I think we knew who the receivers were going to be starting. Right now, the only one that we know where he's playing at is Tay. Everyone else has to fight for that position and spot on this team.
Jacoby's locked in.
Well, Jacoby too. Jacoby's locked in.
Yeah, we all know Jacoby's locked in.
But as far as like the rest of them, they all got to battle each other. Thank you for winning us the game,
but now you're a Raider now, so I'm just saying.
But they all got to battle it out, that competitive part. And I like that about this team.
Philip Dorsett.
These fools all have to compete against each other to make that spot, because these spots are not guaranteed. Even with Renfro. Renfro's over here like, I honestly think the Renfro trade didn't go through because his value is not what people thought it was, based on last year being hurt and the concussion protocols.
They're waiting for us to release him.
Right? You don't know what you're going to get. Or like with Hopkins, they think people thought people were going to trade for Hopkins. He just ended up getting released. So it could be the same thing. But even within, like with all these receivers, each one, I like that we have different receivers that do different things. Tay's all around. Then you got that big dude who's I've been hearing a lot about, Cam Smith, how he's been like a monster in the red zone because of his height.
He's a good red. You know? For real, you could really put Cam. You really could put Cam Smith in as a backup tight end, because how tall he is.
Yeah, he's what 6'5".
Yeah, he's about 6'5", 6'6", and he has a nice vertical too. But Rodecaster made a good point in the comments saying with these new rules at special teams is making Tucker a less favorable pick.
That was the first thought that came to my mind with that kickoff rule.
That fair catch to the 25-yard line thing.
Yeah.
It makes it kind of a less favorable pick.
Yeah, you don't even need a gunner like that anymore.
You don't need the gunner. You don't need the. The only thing I can think of is punt returns. You know, you're still going to be punt returning, but still, one of the things was kickoff and punt returns.
So if you had to make a prediction right now of who will make the roster out of the wide receivers, who would y'all pick?
Ooh, off the top of my head, how many are we taking?
Yeah, how many we taking? 5, 6?
I think we have to take at least 5 or 6. We're going to have to. The way Josh McDaniels want this offense, you know he likes to spread it out. So
he does.
So Leo, you go first.
I'll put you under the microscope with
I say Devontae.
Yeah, we know Tay. We know Jacoby.
We know Jacoby, right? We know Trey Tucker.
Yeah, Trey.
Trey Tucker. Hunter Renfrow.
You think Trey Tucker's a guarantee?
I think he's going to make it.
He has to be.
He has to be. If they cut him after picking him 100,
if they cut him, I'm going to Vegas myself.
I mean, you can put him under the special teams depth chart instead of the wide receiver depth chart.
But it's still
Nah, man. I think that they gonna make sure he play. Just for the strength of they don't want me to come visit them. If they release Trey Tucker, the guy that they got, oh man.
Yeah, they're not gonna release Trey Tucker, but so you said Jacoby, Devontae, Trey Tucker. So who else?
Hunter,
that's 4.
And Cam.
Ooh. Over Philip Dorsett?
That was what I said. Are we doing 5 or 6? Because I think you keep Tucker for the speed. Do you really need Dorsett still?
I think they want to open it up. Now,
I think Philip Dorsett, he's a Patriot guy. He knows the offense. He played under Josh McDaniels.
And, yeah. I think we're gonna keep Dorsett. I think what's his name is gonna be out. That DeAndre Carter. I think
DeAndre Carter.
Out. I think Keelan
Cole.
Yeah, I think he's out.
DJ Turner.
Yeah, I think he's out.
I like DJ Turner.
I'm not a big fan of him, man.
But I like DJ Turner, man. I don't know if I understand he's a little undersized, but he's physical. He does not run away from hits. That's what
I need him to avoid hits and get to the end zone.
Hold up. So you rather avoid hits going into the end zone, or you want to leap over somebody and get the touchdown? I'm just saying, because you got wide receivers in the league now, they just run out of bounds and don't want to get hit and be trying to be the divas in the NFL. I don't want a diva. I want somebody that can stiff arm, that can run you over real quick and then take it to the house.
That's what I like about Chase. That's how Chase is. Yeah.
So that's why I like about DJ Turner. But I get it. Just the way y'all set it up.
Mm-hmm. All right, hey, your turn. Don't don't
leave us.
You can't moonwalk out of this. You can't moonwalk out of this. So he's about to go to the next topic real quick.
Right.
I sure about to go to the next topic. But of course, Devontae Jacoby is going to be the lock in 2 for real.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all notice,
I'm going with Philip Dorsett. I think Dorsett makes the team.
Renfrow on mine.
You didn't.
I think we will, but I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's Devontae, Tay, Philip Dorsett, Renfrow. I'm gonna have to throw Trey Tucker. Trey Tucker be a wide receiver 5.
They better keep Trey. I am going on record. They better.
So Trey, yes, and I'm gonna have to go with Sims as for number 6.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Sims because I think Sims might be under the wide receiver depth chart, but if you look at our tight end depth chart, it's not really that much. So he could really slide in to the
Howard.
tight end depth chart instead of the wide receiver depth chart.
I don't know. You got to think we got OJ Howard, and we
Austin
got.
I'm not a
Hooper.
fan.
We got Hooper and Mayer. And
I'm not a. You got Austin Hooper. You have Michael Mayer.
And
then you got. I don't think OJ Howard makes this roster. I just don't. Just from what I've saw compared to him, where he productivity at Alabama and came in and done nothing in the NFL.
Yeah,
he will have to prove to me that he can make this roster.
Yeah, coming out of college, I thought he was gonna be a dog.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna be a dog.
Especially if you can't do nothing with Tom Brady as your quarterback for the last couple of years, and you couldn't do nothing then. What makes you think you're gonna do something with Jimmy G?
Who loves
another guy that we got?
Is that Horsted or whatever his name?
Yeah, Horsted. So
yeah,
I mean, Horsted and Sims could battle it out, but I would not be surprised if they tried to convert Sims into a tight end like they did Waller. Waller was a wide receiver coming out of Georgia Tech and converted into a tight end.
Yeah, because
I wasn't surprised to see if they do that with Sims.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely big enough.
Especially in the red zone. He's big.
He could be a red zone threat, especially where we struggled at the last 4 or 5 years is the red zone.
Yeah.
We got a different quarterback though, man. I think we'll be much better in the red zone. I'm calling it now.
I think we'll be much better in the red zone, but we know that Jimmy Garoppolo loves his tight ends. That's why I said Cam Sims. Yeah, see, it's all clicking together now with me. See?
You see
that's a harder transition than what it seems. So, like in Madden, you can do it, but in real life,
he wouldn't be one of those. He wouldn't be one of those blocking tight ends. You'll put him in with those tight ends like between the 20 and the 10-yard line near the red zone. You don't need him to be a blocking tight end. You just need him for red zone purposes.
Because that was their issue with Waller at tight end, was the fact that he was weak against the run blocking. He couldn't block. That was the thing with Waller. Yeah.
And that's why we got Austin Hooper, because Austin Hooper can play that really well when it comes to the run blocking scheme. And I think, Michael Mayer was good at run blocking too. If y'all look at
Michael Mayer's a monster blocking.
Man, he will get out in front and he will lay you out. And I was like, yo, this guy, he's a baby Gronk. He might be the next Gronk out of this.
He might not have the athleticism that Waller did, but the dude can catch, the dude can block.
Yeah, he definitely with the contested. He doesn't run away from hits. He gets the most. He get a lot of acrobatic. He gets a lot of those contested throws that you can rely on him to do that.
Yep.
I thought Michael Mayer. I was really surprised that he went in the second round. I was surprised. I thought he was a first round pick, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought the Cowboys were going to get him when we were watching the draft.
So let me ask y'all this then. So what player comp do you put Michael Mayer? Like who does he remind you of? Like me personally, he has Zach Miller all over. Like which is cool, but that's why I had to or do you think he'll be better than Zach Miller?
I think he'll be better than Zach.
I think he'll be better than Zach Miller.
Okay.
I mean, unfortunately, Zach Miller had to end his career early, but I get it.
Yeah.
Zach Miller, for me, if we want to compare him to a player, can we compare him to a player right now in the league?
Yeah.
For me,
don't say Kittle.
No, I wouldn't say
okay.
Kittle.
Okay.
He's not. He might could be that later on in his career. We just don't know because he's a rookie right now.
Yeah.
But a player in the NFL that reminds me, you know what? It might sound crazy here, but it reminds me of a young Jared Cook. He reminds me of a young Jared Cook that could block and run routes. Jared Cook was a great run blocking tight end.
Jared Cook was fast though.
Yeah, Mayer's not that fast.
Yeah,
Mayer's not that fast. Mayer's not that fast, but he was one. There was those two tight ends that didn't give a shit. Like I don't care how fast I am. I'm going to make sure I'm going to make sure you're going to hear me.
Yeah.
The Ravens. You talking about what's his name?
Andrews.
Mark
Yeah,
Andrews.
Mark Andrews.
That could be another guy.
That's who I was thinking. I was thinking like Mark Andrews, but what he really reminds me, you're probably gonna laugh, but and not now, not the way he plays now, but like when he first started, before he developed his game and became better, was Kelsey. He reminds me of Kelsey, the way he loves to hit people, he loves to be physical. People didn't think he would get away from you because he didn't have the speed or the athleticism, but surely, slowly, the homeboy improved his game, and
I would love that. I would love that. I would love it.
Yeah,
he balled out.
I would love it.
I watched him play the whole time at Notre Dame. I'm a big Notre Dame fan. So I know Michael Mary. We had nobody to throw with. I couldn't even tell you the receivers on Notre Dame. But you know who would always score? You know who would always score? Was Michael Mary.
Yeah. Now, you know who I want him to be like, though? I want him to be like an old school Jeremy Shockey.
Yeah.
That was like that non-rated I liked. I like Jerry. She was nasty with it.
He was nasty. Like that would be dope.
Yeah.
What about this? Is y'all might if let me see if y'all know y'all football a little bit. What about he could be like a Brent Selleck to what the Eagles was? Brent Selleck.
He had some years. He had some years where he was doing his thing.
Yeah,
he had some years, but I'd want to.
What was the other tight end for the Eagles that was after Brent Selleck? What is his name? He's on Arizona. He's on Arizona now.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about
That's exactly who I had in my mind.
They traded him to Arizona. What is his name?
Does it start with a G?
It's not Dallas Goedert. Goedert is the tight end now for them. Damn, it's right there.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Bro. It's right there. Oh man.
I know who you're talking about too.
Because he's considered one of the greatest Eagles tight ends outside of Brent Selleck too.
Yeah, because in fact when he got traded, they were like, "Oh,
Zach Ertz. There we go.
Ertz. Yep. Zach Ertz. There you go."
I'm like, damn, I live in Philadelphia and I can't know this. What's going on? Like, Zach Brent Selleck or Zach Ertz.
I like that.
Michael Mayer could definitely be like one of those two. Absolutely. But yeah, I got my wide receivers out. Y'all see me. I got them.
Okay.
I got them. But
starting running back.
Josh Jacob news. Okay, Dirty Eric. It was Zach Ertz. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother. He's spamming with Ertz. I know they get. You know what StreamYard does? There's always a delay when it comes to the live stream. But Josh Jacobs,
as a fantasy football player, we should have known that.
Josh Jacobs, man. I know me and Leo had this conversation about Josh Jacobs and his contract situation. Now, Harold Carmichael was another one, a great tight end for the Philadelphia Eagles as well. But he's wearing 87, so he's gonna have to live up to Casper's legacy with that 87. So, how y'all feel about Josh Jacobs, man? Is we going to figure out something soon? Like, will he show up to mini camp? Like, I just do the Raiders need to get it done now and get it out the way before training camp comes with Josh Jacobs?
So me personally, he misses mini camp all the time, right? Like he'll be ready for training camp, but I know I'm in a minority, man, but I really want to sign him to. Like I want him to get paid, man. I'm just at that school of thought of just people that go above and beyond, man. You have to show others on the team that, hey, if you go above and beyond, we're going to take care of you. And I'm not buying that whole, running backs are a dime a dozen. Because if that was the case, then Zeus could just come in and it's a plug and play, and we'll be all right. I really want to pay him, but I don't want to give him no Zeke money. But I want him to, get a
free agent, so he ain't got no money.
I know.
But the Zeke contract.
Got his though. He already got his bag. But I want to do something similar than the Cleveland Browns did with Nick Chubb. Give him a 3-year deal, pay him handsomely. 13, 14 might be pushing it, but like that 12 to 14, I could do that. I can do that and feel good.
3?
Yeah, 3 years, and then even if you wanted to do 4, but put
they
it
get a
out.
player option.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Put it out at 3 years. That if we don't, want to make it happen, we can get it out. That's where I'm at.
Whew. You know what? Being a local or closer to Vegas, I was a little scared because he canceled a lot of stuff around here.
I heard about that.
He canceled his football camp, which I was going to send my nephew to, by the way, which sucked that he canceled it.
Ooh,
And then he canceled signings. So I was like, damn. But then I saw he did the number change. I'm all right, bro. You're committing to the number change, then
Right.
you're going to be here.
Right.
That gives me hope that you're going to stay.
Right.
Now, the last I heard is that because of like how you're saying the years, the way it's structured, he wants more money up front.
I'm good with that.
And I'm good with that. I'm good
Yeah.
with that. Yeah. So if they're gonna do that, then fine, do that. It's like you said, the dude balled out for you, and yeah, I get it. A lot of players will ball out on contract years and shit the next one. I don't see Jacobs being that type of player, given the energy and the emotions that he's given to this team.
Mhm.
You know, I think he's always done what he's can. And last year he did it. He went above and beyond. You know, they brought in running back by committee. He said, "Not up in here.
Yeah.
I'm doing the third down. I'm doing the goal line. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing it all." And he was under the whole
I
time.
get it.
Mhm.
I get it. But I
Uh-oh.
understand why they didn't give Josh Jacobs his 5th-year option due to his injury
Oh, me too.
history.
Oh yeah.
Me
Yeah,
too.
So
definitely.
I understand the 5th-year option, and
Me
I was
too.
really surprised because I went to the Hall of Fame game last year, and I really was surprised that he played in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
I was there, and I'm like, what is Josh Jacobs doing in the
too.
lineup right now? Like,
Me
this is
too.
preseason. He should be resting. Like, what the hell? But
Mhm.
I understand why he did it. He wanted to prove a point that no matter how injured he was, because he was damn sure banged up this year. He was banged up, and he played,
By the
he
end,
played
and
every
he still
game this
played.
year.
He did.
While
He was
being
banged
banged
up for that last game. Mhm.
Yeah, and I understand that you want to give him this big contract. I get it. I get it 100%. But now we're going into a league that is by committee. It is. We're going into a league where it's by committee, and I feel like you could give him this contract, and you could take a little bit of the load off of him because you did draft Zeus. You got to give him a chance some way, somehow. And JJ
You gotta give him the ball more.
he wants to be a Raider. He does. But he has to understand, like, if you know you need a breather and you know that you need a break or a check on you injury-wise, make sure you good. Let these running backs get their big ones, you know. Let Amir Abdullah do what he do outside of being behind the quarterback. Let him line up in the slot and have him get some balls out the backfield. You got Zeus there. You got a few other running backs there too. Still got Britton Brown. You still got some other guys there. I don't know if Britton Brown would make the team this year, but you listen, it's for your health, bro. I understand you want to protect and secure your bag, but your health is there too. So if you want to secure this bag, you gotta help. You gotta let these other running backs get involved too. I understand you want to be a 3-down back. You want to go back to being old school, but we're moving away from a 3-down back. First and second down, yes. That third down, if you need a breather, put Zeus in, put Abdullah in. And when we get another first down, then boom, you come back in. You know, so I mean, I think he deserves the bag though.
You know what the weaving with the bag said? I think one homeboy said it last time on your show, Chris. It's the waiting game right now between him and Barkley.
Yeah, it is.
Who's gonna get the money first? And then what he gets, I either get the same, if not
a little
more.
bit more,
but I'm not gonna get less.
Yeah,
you know. And I think that's part of why we're waiting too, is because they're on hold also. They don't know what's gonna happen with them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's I don't know. I feel that with the quarterback that we have, we are going to depend on running the ball more than ever. And I feel the running back by committee, but it's the feel is different when JJ's back there. And the defensive coordinators are going to feel that too. They're going to be like, you know, Zeus is back there. All right, we can do a little coverage now. I don't know, man. It's just everyone talks about a real Raider, you know, because you know we have all these Patriots and we need more real Raiders. JJ is the epitome of a real Raider, man. So I don't know, man. Homegrown, I want to pay the boy.
Yeah, I'm not saying not pay him. I said, yeah, you still want to pay him, but you want him healthy as well through all 17, 18 game seasons.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like sometimes you got to take a little bit, like a tad bit off the load of Josh Jacobs. But if you need those tough yards in certain game situations, go ahead and put Josh Jacobs in the game.
Yeah.
You have to do that. You have to do that. But you saw Amir Abdullah was pretty big for us outside of the backfield when it comes to catching.
The catching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
And I'm happy that we brought Amir Abdullah back because I know Amir Abdullah been with different teams, stayed injured. He was actually healthy this year, and he definitely contributed in a big way as far as a pass catching running back. Knowing that Josh Jacobs still learning to be that pass catching, he's developing every year to be that too, to be a little bit more elusive, in space. So
He's gotten better.
I like it. But how much would you give him guaranteed if you was the GM of the Las Vegas? How much would y'all give Josh Jacobs right now?
Like signing bonus or guaranteed through the whole?
Guaranteed money.
Oh.
So if I'm going to pay him, so I'm looking at giving him, we'll say 3 years. I'm looking at 3 years, about 36 mil, about 12 a year. I'd be okay with giving him if he takes a 3-year deal, I'll give him most of it guaranteed. I'll give him like 20 something guaranteed.
Over Christian McCaffrey that's making 16? Ooh.
What, guaranteed? Well, I mean, but McCaffrey's getting like
a year.
Oh, you talking about? No, I don't want to give him. No, I only want to give him like between 12 to 14 per year. Yeah, McCaffrey. No, I don't want to give him.
Because McCaffrey's getting 16 a year right now.
No. Oh, no. I don't want to give him. No, if we're talking about how much per year, I'm saying 12 to 14 for JJ.
Oh, so like guaranteed 12 to 14 guaranteed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what the salary I'd give him. I thought you were talking about like just guarantee, like upfront money, like signing bonus type.
No, I was just saying just guaranteed money.
No, yeah, 12 to 14.
Because incentives is going to come with that as well. So
right,
I didn't want to throw this. I just want to throw the guarantee money out there because Christian McCaffrey did set the bar high with the 16 guarantee for a running back.
Yeah, no, I don't want to give him that.
And I mean, which Christian McCaffrey is worth the money if you see what he did in San Fran after he got traded. Mm-hmm. But Josh Jacobs, he should at least be close to that. So I say 14 and a half guaranteed.
Oh, see,
14 and a half.
Yeah, you're there at 15.
So you're more than me.
I mean, 14 and a half. Only reason why I say that because he led the league in rushing. He was damn near top 5 in carries. He was damn near top 5 in touchdowns.
He was number 2 in carries.
All-purpose. I think he was first in all-purpose yards as well. Why not give him 14 and a half?
No,
I mean, Saquon Barkley was right behind him. I mean, you might give Saquon a little bit less than 14. Or you could give him you could give Saquon 13 and a half or almost 14, and then Josh Jacobs 14 and a half. I think they'll be satisfied with that.
See, to me, Saquon is a bigger risk, man. I would be scared. Now the Giants got a real decision there.
Yeah,
they got a real decision there. Saquon's he's a monster, but that boy can't get right.
Mm-mm. I think the year that he had last year, I think he's back on his pace. They got him on offensive line, and I just think they need a number 2 back to help him out. I think there's not a number 2 back in New York to help them out. And I talked about that on my other show too about running backs that's still available through free agency, like Ezekiel Elliott. You got Leonard Fournette. You got Darrell Williams. You have Keon Drake. You still have a lot of running backs out there that could be a number 2 for a lot of these teams in the league right now.
Well, Kenyon Drake got released again by the Ravens.
Kareem Hunt is out there.
Kareem Hunt is out there.
Kareem Hunt is out there. He's not even with the Cleveland Browns. He's not. No, he's still a free agent.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt's out there. I remember there was people talking about why don't the Raiders bring him in? Yeah, because once someone becomes a free agent, the nation wants them on the Raiders.
There's zero chance he'll go. I mean, just the way I know Mark Davis feels about domestic violence. There's no way.
Yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know one team that would take him. The Washington Commanders.
Oh,
look who's over there. Eric the Enemy.
The enemy's over there.
The enemy over there. And you got to look at it too because I did the research.
Yeah.
His first year with Eric the Enemy, he ran for almost 1,800 yards.
He went crazy.
He went crazy that year. And then the second, that's mind you, Eric the Enemy was only the running back coach at that time. He wasn't even the offensive coordinator. Yeah. Even when he became the offensive coordinator, he still ran for 1,300. So, I mean, I don't know. I knew it's unrealistic when it comes to free agents, when it comes to running backs. We all know it's unrealistic for him to be a Raider. So when it comes to free agents, we can't get everybody, y'all. We can't get everybody. But I think that'll be a good fit for Kareem Hunt. But it is some other guys out there that definitely needs to go to New York and see what they could do. And see what they could do. So
you know what? I'll say this about the running back. So because that's all you hear a lot though. It's different. It's a different position. It's running back by committee. Running back by committee, we don't value them. But still, there's still few running backs in this league that when they hold the ball can make something big and make a difference. And Jacobs is still one of those running backs in this league.
Absolutely.
He's still one of those. And that's the reason why I think he should get paid. Whether we do running back by committee or not, you know, we have Zeus, we got Abdullah, you know, other dude. But that's why I think Jacobs, and with adding Jimmy, our focus is more on the run now than it ever was before. Yeah.
And not only
it has to be that, because if you look at Jimmy Garoppolo's history as a quarterback, that's with San Fran, they ran the ball effectively.
That's when he was
had
the
a
most
great
effective.
defense when he went to the Super Bowl. That is the philosophy of the success of Jimmy Garoppolo, and I hope McDaniels knows that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and another thing, we have to realize what's the best way to beat Mahomes.
Keep the ball away from him.
Yeah, keep that.
You are not going to outscore him.
Sideline, man. And you know, honestly, and that's why I'm so big on Josh Jacobs. And I would love the running back by committee thing, but man, you know, it's just a difference having them out there. Now, if Zeus and them step it up, oh yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. But
it'll be even better.
I don't know, man. I just got to see more from them guys to make me feel comfortable.
I know this is not a football topic, but I just got some breaking news. Chris Paul has been released from the Phoenix Suns.
Will he finally become a Laker?
Oh, hell no. No.
He might. He really might. They've been wanting to make that happen for so long.
Right?
No. Nope. But I was just kind of shocked to just see that, because I have a Darian Hopkins show group chat. So they said that they waived him, knowing that Frank Vogel just got hired there to be the head coach. So that's just interesting to hear. I mean, that's just interesting.
That is interesting. I didn't think that was going to happen.
I was not expecting that. But I mean, they got to make some roster moves. They got to clear up some cap space on the NBA side. So I get it. Charles Washington said, let me see. I'm gonna just go about what people are saying in the chat so far. As far as the offensive coaches, talk about our running backs. Are the more comfortable the sound about the running back room? Yeah,
I agree.
Kyle Shanahan lost the Super Bowl for Jimmy G because he went away from the run game. You know what? That could be the case too. But adjustments is what needs to be made if you're the opposite team.
And what does Andy Reid do the best?
It's all about adjustments.
Andy Reid do? Andy Reid adjusts, bro. He's one of the best.
How to create turnovers on defense to beat the Chiefs. I mean, that's true too. But I mean, I think the first time, when we almost beat them last year, I don't think we had a turnover in that game, did we?
No, but we were pressuring. We were bringing pressure on Mahomes.
Yeah,
we were putting a lot of pressure on Mahomes when we went that game.
Now
before they made their comeback.
It's one okay. So we all know that we in the AFC, which is the tougher conference than the NFC.
Woo.
And I know we have one of the toughest divisions in football in the AFC West. But outside of the AFC West that's on our roster, what game are you looking forward to outside of our division in the AFC West in a team out of the NFC? What game are you looking forward to?
Against an NFC team or against an
AFC team? An AFC team outside of the AFC West.
Oh, okay. Shoot.
So you saying just to watch play or like go to the game?
If you look at our schedule and you see the other AFC games that we have outside of the AFC West, if you look at that schedule, what team you're looking forward to playing outside of the AFC West that's on our schedule?
For me, I'm actually looking forward to that Steeler game because I think that's going to tell us where. I mean, I think that'll let us know where our floor is. Because if we can't beat the Steelers, it's gonna be a long ass season. So that'll at least let me know, okay, how do we do against the Steelers? If we can beat up on them a little bit, then okay. But if we mess around and beat them by 1 or they beat us, Caleb Williams, here we come, man.
It's one game I think it's 1 or 2 games for me. And J Rowe just said it for me. It's not we gyrated. We doing the AFC. We're not doing the NFC. But I'm looking forward to Buffalo in New York.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. Mind you, we played both New York teams this year. We played the Giants and the Jets.
Yeah.
So
those are close.
I'm looking forward to the Jets game. I'm looking forward what our defense could do against Aaron Rodgers. I'm looking forward what our defense could do against now the Madden 24 cover Josh Allen. I'm looking forward to seeing that because those 2 teams is going to be challenging. Especially with those defenses, mind you, they have 2 quality defenses that they're forced to be reckoned with. The Jets, only reason why the Jets was so it wasn't really bad. They weren't bad last year. They just didn't have a quarterback. That's just what it was with the Jets. Buffalo, we know what Josh Allen could do. We know what Stephon Diggs could do. Now they got Dawson Knox and Kincaid that they got in the draft. And I think as far as talent wise, I'm looking forward to those 2. But I'm gonna have to agree with bro. Pittsburgh is one of those games that's
gonna let us know where we are. That's gonna let us know where we are. Yeah.
And just I don't know. I think a couple weeks back I watched the Football Life when it was talking about the Immaculate Reception, and that shit pissed me off.
The Immaculate Deception.
Immaculate Reception, but whatever. But yeah, I think out of that. I think we played the whole AFC East, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not looking forward to Miami. Only thing I can say about that is, can we defend Tyreek Hill? That's the only question.
Can we get
the Waddle?
Yeah,
and Waddle, and then they don't have Gesicki no more though. Gesicki is in New England.
So who's their tight end? Do they got anybody worth naming?
I
feel like they got some more speed too. Didn't they pick up somebody else? I feel like they got another speedster.
Was it in the draft?
I can't remember. I just remember seeing the move, and I'm like, damn,
I think
they're gonna be impossible to cover in Madden.
But hey, the Jets got McCole Hardman. That's another speedster that they have on as far as the Jets go. But the Dolphins wide receivers in 2023, I'm about to look it up right now and see what they have. The wide receivers that I see so far,
I just feel like
they got Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. You talking about Cedric Wilson? Was it Cedric Wilson?
Mm-hmm. Is it rookie?
No, he's not a rookie. Cedric Wilson been around for a while now.
Yeah. No,
they got Teron Art. Well, I mean, as far as wide receivers go, let me see.
What running
depth chart?
Did they get a nice running back? I just felt like they got somebody that I was just like, man, that's gonna be nasty.
So Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Baxton Burrows. They got Chosen Anderson. What's his name? What's his he used to play for the Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals. Robbie Anderson.
Anderson.
That's what it was. Cause I'm like, man, that's another.
That's why I didn't recognize because of his last name. It changed.
Yeah, I forgot his name. It's
Chosen.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what it was. That's all. Like that's a lot of speed, and he's not. It's not like he's a beast anymore, but that's a lot of speed, man.
Now if you want to go to the NFC, it made me think about something because people might say the Chicago Bears might not be great this year. But looking at their roster the other day,
they'll be great in Madden.
Yeah.
I like the DJ Moore and Chase Claypool tandem. I really do.
But is Fields gonna be able to get them the ball?
And I think I really think that game is going to be competitive because you know why? The Las Vegas Raiders always play down the competition.
That's what we do best.
That's the hold-up, man.
We play out of competition. But Justin Fields is so dynamic with his legs. If he could learn how to throw the ball while running, it makes him more dynamic. Yeah. So, talk about stealing money, Chris Paul. But the Bears is one of those ones in the NFC that might be a game that it might be a trap game, I could say.
For us,
I'm not worried about them.
You're not?
Just because I feel, if anything, we're built to beat them. We got defensive ends that can set that edge. If nothing else, we'll make Justin stay in the pocket and beat us with his arm. And I'm not scared of that at all.
Yeah, me either. Mm-mm.
Okay, so if we're looking at the Raiders' schedule, I mean, as far as the NFC goes, you have the Green Bay Packers. That's one game. You got the Chicago Bears. I think the Detroit Lions game is going to be good.
Lions, Minnesota.
I'm not scared of the Lions either, and most people think I'm crazy.
You are crazy.
I'm not scared of them, man. Detroit is Detroit, man. It's just they're just like the Browns. They're going to find a way to Detroit it up.
They're actually better than the Browns now. They're way better than the Browns now.
Which is not saying much.
Don't sleep on the Browns. I live in Ohio. You can't sleep on the Browns.
Oh my God! How long
if Deshaun Watson gets back to Deshaun, but look, if Deshaun Watson gets back to Deshaun Watson, they could be nasty, man.
They were saying that when they had Mayfield and OBJ. Nothing happened.
But we talking about Deshaun Watson. Like his last full year he played, he led the league in passing.
Yeah, but if you look at this the Cleveland Browns roster, it doesn't fear me. It doesn't fear me at all.
They got a top 4 running back.
All I know is the running game changed once Watson came into the game because Chubb was killing it.
He's still knocking the rust off.
And then they put Watson in, and then Chubb disappeared.
Are you looking forward to the New York Giants game?
Oh, you know.
Nah.
You know he's looking forward.
Why,
to
Chris? Why?
No, it's not why you think so. Because like I said, I'm not like some of the Carr fans. Yeah, I'm not like the Carr fans that want like Carr to beat us or anything. Like I don't want Waller to ball on us. I want to smack Waller, but I just want to.
Hypothetically, what if he does? What if he's 100% healthy and he has himself a game? Even though we might just win the game, but
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, honestly, I expect him to have a good game because he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
He's a dog, and you would never hear me say nothing bad about him.
Can I address this real quick? So, Sander, I know we both Miami Heat fans. We are Heat culture, hashtag Heat culture, but he addressed this already.
This has been addressed.
He addressed this. He's not going to demand a trade, but I think he's still upset about Carr leaving the Raiders. I think he's still upset about that because that was his best friend. That was they like godfathers of each other's child personally, but he's not going to demand a trade. He's just not.
No,
I think he's more upset that we didn't get A-Rod. He's more upset about that, I think.
I think
I didn't want A-Rod.
I think you didn't coming up,
but I guarantee Tay did.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's funny though? What makes it funny with me, and a lot of people don't like me because I say that. A lot of people don't like me when I make Raider takes because me and Leo ran down the line of quarterbacks that the Raiders wanted so badly.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like we're going to get one of them.
You ain't like one.
When all them left, when all them was no longer on the board, I said, "I told you so." I told you. It's the Raiders fans. They're so quick to put somebody in a Raiders uniform. It doesn't.
They wanted Brady. They're
so
Rodgers.
quick to put somebody in a Raiders uniform.
Yeah.
So
when Tom Brady ended his career last year, they thought he was going to wear that silver and black.
They did.
Cross that off. We thought that we was getting Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Aaron Rodgers was going to stay in Green Bay, but he went to New York Jets. Scratch that off. Oh, when Lamar Jackson requested a trade because of the contract, they threw Lamar Jackson in silver and black. He got paid. Scratch that off. I just like making the people feel like crap. I like that. I like that because I'm telling you, I'm like, we're not built to get those type of quarterbacks. We're just not. We're
not even that, but I think McDaniels and them had it set from the get-go that Jimmy was the guy they were going to get. Regardless of all the fans, all that shit, all the media about Rodgers and Brady. Maybe not Brady, but Brady making up his own mind about retiring. Okay. But I think once that went away, it was always going to be Jimmy, which is why I think they did.
But you see the Raiders fans, they came right back out. They came right back out when Jimmy G foot injury came in.
Oh God. Yeah.
Bring him on
silver and black.
That Brady had to come on and say, I'm
not coming back.
He's like, yo, I'm not coming back as a player. I'm going to be
Let me ask y'all this, though. Let me ask y'all this. So and I stood so strong on this. Okay, so last year at the end of the season, and we knew we're done with Carr. What direction did you guys want us to go in the quarterback?
So once the last game, the Chiefs game ended, like where did I want
Yeah.
us to
So
go then?
where were you at? Like, okay, next
Oh.
year, this is who I want.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. The minute that Chiefs game ended and we were done with Carr, I thought draft who we were gonna get likely, but sticking with Stidham.
Me too.
I loved what I saw in Stidham in the Niner
Everybody
game.
thought I was crazy.
I get it was one game, but seeing him in the preseason, seeing him play against the Niners, and then seeing him against the Chiefs, like there was something there that I was excited about moving forward. You know, Jimmy G, I've never been a fan. Will not, but because he's on our team, let's go, Jimmy.
Jimmy was my last. He was.
I was thinking the draft too because free agency quarterbacks was not really a big thing. Free agency was, and a lot of quarterbacks is looking for bigger contracts with their teams now. And the quarterback room was not really big for free agency, so I was definitely looking to draft because we had segments where I felt like the Raiders could have moved up and got Stroud. If they didn't move up to number 1 or they didn't move up to number 2, if they moved up to number 1 or number 2, they probably would have got Stroud. I wouldn't want them to go get. I wouldn't want them to go get Bryce Young. Bryce Young is just too small for me. He reminds me of a Kyler Murray in some ways when it comes to height. And if you look at him in a uniform, he looked like a junior varsity quarterback. Man, I'm just saying.
He looks like
a junior varsity quarterback. So I'm not really too big on Bryce Young. I think he's going to do great with Carolina, but just not for us. I already knew that the Aaron Rodgers. That's why I never made no content about Aaron Rodgers coming to the Raiders. I did that a couple of years ago when Aaron Rodgers still was wanting out of Green Bay at that time.
Yeah.
But if you look at the bright side of things, I'm kind of happy that we got Jimmy G, and I was kind of surprised that they released Jimmy G from the 49ers. So I'm like, okay, Josh McDaniels the coach, Jimmy G's a free agent.
Yeah, that was gonna happen.
It was bound to happen. It was bound to happen, and I think Trey Lance being over there and Brock Purdy improving himself in San Francisco. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo was the odd man out. Mm-hmm. Or if we didn't get Jimmy G, remember it was rumors about Trey's getting Trey Lance. Scratch that off.
I don't. Why
would not you getting Trey Lance? Oh, that was another one they had.
How does Trey Lance make sense though, bro?
With the helmet and everything. Scratch that off too.
They still want Trey Lance.
But why? You complain about Jimmy being fragile, but you want to trade for a dude who hasn't played how many games in the last 2 years?
He has uncertainty.
Like, no way. Like, why would you no?
But I was with y'all though. I felt though if we didn't go get a quarterback in the draft, I felt as though we should have kept Stidham. We should have kept Stidham.
I think Stidham would have been.
And the fact that he went to the Denver Broncos, that makes it even worse.
Which, if Russell keeps acting like Russell,
he gonna mess around and play.
Watch Sean Payton turn that dude around, mess around, and have him balling.
I wouldn't be surprised if Sean Payton revives Russell Wilson's career, just the type of coach that he is.
The type of coach that he is, yeah.
But I wanted to keep Stidham. I think Stidham would have been our future, and I felt like we probably wouldn't have had to go draft a quarterback in the draft this year, or could have just did one next year. For real, because to be honest, if you look at the quarterbacks coming out next year, they're better than the ones that's actually in this draft.
Those are the ones next year I would be willing to trade.
It's a long drop after that. Yeah. So I loved it. I loved, Stidham. I love how he played against the 49ers, even though we didn't win the game, but we didn't back down either. So
back down.
And I love his mobility. I think his mobility would really makes me.
The way he extended that play to tape. That one he made to Adams was fucking amazing, dude.
It was Joe. I was going crazy on the live stream, Joe.
Man, that is all that I wanted to see Carr do. That's it. That's all I ever wanted to see him do.
He did in 2016.
Yeah, and it's like, and it just seeing that had a little tear come to my eye. It's like that's all I wanted to see him do, man.
Right. Yeah. I think after that injury with Carr, he wasn't the same.
Yeah,
he broke. I mean,
PTSD, man.
Well, I mean, just stats wise, he was better.
No, stat wise, yeah, but I mean, as
Stat-wise, he
far
was,
as
but
that
I get what y'all
instinct,
saying though.
that instinct,
I mean, the
that
guy
Chris
was
is
throwing
talking
4,000
about
passing yards
gone.
for the last 4 years of his career, outside of last year. But
because I get teary when I see videos 2016 when he would make those kind of plays. You know,
Yeah, he
the
would.
New Orleans
he was
games,
100%. He did those at Fresno State as
He
well.
was doing that. Like that was the thing you liked about him, but it just wasn't the same. After
People don't realize Carr's a good ass athlete, man. But he just don't show it no more.
And it just reminds me of is in the same comparison for me. Y'all might not think of this, but I'm thinking of it as basketball wise too. Derek Carr and Klay Thompson. If you look at their injuries, Klay Thompson do not look the same before he tore his Achilles and tore his ACL. Does not look the same. Derek Carr broke his leg. He had a back injury. He had what was other injuries that he had? I forgot the other injury. He had a groin injury.
Yeah.
Multiple injuries can really hinder your athleticism and hinder you from being very tedious of PTSD, how you play the game.
Yeah, the PTSD is real. You see it in the pocket. That's what when you were talking about pocket presence, you would see it in there.
You don't want to get touched. He almost reminded me of when Carson Palmer got that knee hit.
And Carson Palmer ain't been the same
since. Carson was like, nope.
No.
Three-step drop, release. Put me in shotgun, release.
You ain't touching me.
Yeah, but so we don't see. That's why I'm really hoping that Jimmy Garoppolo fully heals to a point where he could play all 17 games. And this offensive line, Brandon Parker, you better not get bullied this year. I'm gonna call your ass out.
He better not make the team.
He's going to. He's going to. Unfortunately,
who would be his replacement? Luminor?
I don't care. It could be my trash guy. My trash guy that comes every Thursday could play better than Brandon Parker.
Facts. Talk your shit.
I can't stand him, man.
No, I get
Facts. That's how I feel about Brandon Parker. He gets bullied every year. Not as funny thing is, they don't be doing swim moves. They don't be doing rip moves. They just move.
And excuse me, sir.
Like I'm just going like you talk about people. You know, I don't know if y'all play football physically, but you know, next day you call it Matt Truck Monday because you sore. Brandon Parker should be feeling like that every week. The way he gets bullied.
He just gets it's and the thing is he's so big. So not only are you like, I mean, he's like 6'8".
He's a big
just
dude.
Getting just tossed. Like, why is one grown man tossing another? Like, it's not like he's going against Reggie White or something, but it's like, I don't know, man. See, y'all got my blood pressure going up, man.
Yo, this Raiders team would get your blood pressure boiling. Like, especially last year after all the games we lost after having a lead. Yeah.
Oh, that was hot.
I got a lot of gray under this hat. So
I left the pizza spot so hot sometimes that woo.
Yeah, when I used to do my recap videos, I don't know a lot of people in the chat. I wouldn't even come to this seat for like 20 seconds just to gather my thoughts together. Just to gather my thoughts together, just to before I go ballistic. Because even though I do the live play-by-play and reactions of all Raiders games on this channel, I still do a video recap of the game. And yeah, I was definitely a character this last season.
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that, man.
I was definitely a character. But the play-by-plays be fun, though. They be fun. They be fun because I got some moments. If y'all see it on Spotlight Football Talk, y'all see the Josh Jacob moments when, you know, the overtime against Seattle. And
oh man, it freaking
and the Chandler Jones interception for a touchdown. Those two was crazy there. But Leo, how you feeling about them Lakers, brother? How you feeling about them Lakers? Y'all still couldn't get a win in the playoffs against the Denver Nuggets. But
honestly, bro, it's like I remember I went on your live that one day after the first win over Golden State, and people saying we were going to sweep, go to the finals. I told you then, when it came to them, I was a realist. If they beat Golden State, I'll be happy. When we got against Denver, I knew Denver was the better team, and we just couldn't stop them from scoring.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you was good with that because
I'm
you know
good with
it's been a little bit of rumors about LeBron James might be going to Dallas to team up.
Oh,
with
they already
Kyrie.
squashed that, bro.
I
That's a
heard
Kyrie
those
dream.
rumors, so I want to hear your thoughts on
Honestly,
that.
I think with
'Cause you're a
Bron,
Laker fan over there.
I think with LeBron, it depends on where his son, how long he's going to stay at USC. That's going to determine where he's going to go next. How long his
I
son's
disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I feel like Bron is going to need more than 1 year for
I
him.
think he's going to need more than 1 year.
He's going to be more than 1 year for
Bronny?
him to
Hey, Bronny will.
to for him to go to the NBA. He's going to need more than 1 year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Ja rated Lakers in 6. You're Lakers in the couch, bro. Lakers in the couch.
That was all we ever said.
Lakers in the couch. But if it was one Raider to bring back for this year, like say if these guys were free agents and you wanted to bring one of them back, no matter what era it is, and say if they was in their prime, right? And say if they're in their prime right now, and there was a former Raider left and they want to come back, who would it be? Who was that one player you will bring back to a roster in 2023?
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy. Y'all gonna think I'm crazy.
What are you gonna say? Bo Jackson?
Nah.
Huh?
I would love to hear this.
I'm waiting.
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy.
Probably not as crazy as me, but go ahead.
Nah. I'm saying, well, if we talking about prime, give me Rich Gannon.
What?
You know how nasty he would be in Josh McDaniels? You talking about efficient? Jesus Christ. This dude he'd probably go 30 for 30 every game. With Devontae, dog, he would be something so nasty in this. With Josh Jake, man, y'all wilding out. Really think about Rich Gannon's game. It is tailor made for this staff.
He has a valid goddamn point.
He is made for this.
He has a valid point.
The timing, the
way the NFL is set up now for quarterbacks.
And Gannon can move. Gannon can run.
Yeah.
So that would be nasty.
Gannon did look like somebody's grandfather, but he ran.
He can. Dude could run. That would be so fire.
I think Bo Jackson and Seawood is the obvious, but for
Jacob.
me,
we got Jacob. That's why I wouldn't say.
Yeah.
Who was it?
So for me, this is a tough one for me. If I wanted to bring someone back to be, I'm gonna go defense here. I'm gonna go on the defensive side.
Okay.
There's so many great defensive players that I could bring back. But fuck it, I'm going back to the offense. I'm switching it. I'm going back to the offense. Bring me back Bilentikov.
Really?
Bring me back Bilentikov. If you look at the way the tight ends are set up in today's game, and he played in this era, you know how many yards Bilentikov would have without the stickum? Just imagine. Without the stickum, he did great with stickum. Just imagine what he did without stickum in this league right now. The way tight ends are played, they're played as wide receivers. What? I think Bilentikov will have a 1,500-yard receiving in this league. The way the NFL is set up now, bring me Bilentikov back.
I mean, we already got our receivers though, man. That's the thing. Like I feel like that's the last thing we need with. But I mean, I feel you.
Y'all,
who you got, Leo?
Look, man, this is different. I think because when I always think about
that comment right there,
that's where I was going. Because I think back.
That'd be sick.
I think back to recently with that 2016 team with Carr, with Mac, and I always thought, like, what if Mac would never have gone? If we still had Mac and then you bring in Max, could you imagine that pressure that they would constantly bring, bro?
That'd be
Mac
sick.
and Max, Mac and Max, prime Mac. I'm not talking about like,
yeah, prime Mac.
We should assign him Mac. No.
Yeah.
How about prime 2016 Mac? Those years, bro. Ooh.
That
Khalil Mack and Mad Max.
I'd be nasty.
Mahomes won't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Now, just in case,
Yeah.
if we could abort back Cliff Branch with Devontae Adams.
See, that's what I'm saying. Now, yeah, you talking about one of
Speed,
now.
bro.
Now that right there would be something
Cliff
stupid.
Branch and Devontae Adams.
No.
My God.
What about Tim Brown with Devontae? Tim was always the only receiver for years by himself, bro.
But
Tim never had a quarterback either.
Tim
Except Rich.
never had a quarterback either. But
He had Rich Gannon.
I think you have the quality of Devontae Adams that reminds you of a Tim Brown.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you really want to put physicality and speed on one side, and you just want to put speed kills on the opposite side in Cliff Branch.
But Tim in his prime was speed kill. Remember, he was a returner.
Oh yeah, Tim was fast.
Tim was fast. Prime Tim was fast. Mm-hmm.
Somebody said Jack Tatum,
but he can play right now.
Long.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, Howie
Jack
Long is a no-brainer.
But you can't play. Let them play right now. If you let Tatum or Hayes play right now, they'll be suspended by the middle of the season.
By the middle of the season, man.
They'll be done by preseason. For real.
They'll get Jack up out of there so quick.
You know how many fines Jack would get?
Yeah. Targeting.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness because he pile dropped him into the grass.
Who was the one that did that? Remember when Rolando McClain did that?
Rolando McClain.
Did it to Danny Amendola.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Slammed them to the ground. Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's flip the script then. So if you had one player no matter what team they was from, one player that could come play for the Raiders, who would it be?
Don't do that to me because you're going to put me out there with
from any era,
any player. It doesn't matter.
Man, see, because y'all got me
about script on that way. Yeah,
I got some man. No, I ain't gonna.
Or what? All right, so let me narrow it down then. In the last 20 years,
where you're in?
In the last 20 years, a player that you would love to see on the Raiders from the past 20 years.
I'll say it, and I'll tell you this because I used to do it on Madden, and because I like this dude so much. I thought he was a badass quarterback. I loved Ben Roethlisberger, the way he played quarterback. His size, the way he extended the play, his toughness. And every time we had a Madden league, I would trade to get Roethlisberger on our team and get rid of Russell, whoever we had at the time. But I would have loved.
We talking about the last 20 years. But it's people in the comments.
Because I personally like them.
Jerry Rice.
Right, yeah. That's why you
Warren
go 20
Moon.
years. You could have Dion, Jerry.
I can't even say who I want, dog.
I just personally really like Roethlisberger a lot. Before we got Carter.
I don't got that many subscribers, but I'm gonna lose. So I ain't gonna say.
Just to let y'all know, his link is in the description, y'all. So make sure y'all go subscribe to Protect the Shield podcast. Make sure y'all go subscribe to it, man. Make sure y'all go to the link is definitely in the description. If John Rader's there or Ray Love is there, if y'all could go get the link out of the description and put it in the comments. Make sure y'all could do that for me. I really, really would appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
If I had to get one person in the last 20 years,
that's a tough. For like honest, it's hard to even think what position I would take. It's tough.
All right, one on defense and one on offense.
That's where I went. Oh, defense would probably be Ray Lewis.
You know what? You might have to be. It might have to be Ray Lewis for me too.
Ray Lewis, yeah, Ray Lewis. Because we never had the linebacker. When was the last time we had a great linebacker?
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but so I hate when I get in this bag because y'all gonna. How good would Ray Lewis be in to get today's game though?
The violent part, I get it.
That's true. I get it.
But
he remind me of a Vontaze Burfict in this era.
And
you know what I'm saying? Like
lasted how long with us?
Yeah, like them physical guys, like even like the Ronnie Lotts and stuff, like they just wouldn't have the same impact in today's game because it's so soft now, man.
What about like Troy or Ed Reed?
Ed was nice.
Ed was a ball hawk.
Yeah,
Ed was nice. Ed would go get that ball.
See, LT would get another one who would be banished.
It's one guy that's probably from our division that I would love to have.
Don't say Mahomes. Don't say Mahomes.
No.
Hey,
No, not
that's what I was
Mahomes.
gonna say. I ain't
No.
gonna
I
lie.
figured.
I ain't gonna
I was
lie.
going to say LaDainian Tomlinson. I would love to have LaDainian Tomlinson
Oh,
as
that
Las
dude
Vegas
used to
Raider.
kill us.
LT was nice.
LT
LT
used to,
was that guy.
Okay,
He was
I
a
don't
And
feel
Raider.
bad.
he's saying LT as Lawrence Taylor. I'm
Yeah.
saying LT as LaDainian Tomlinson.
he was a Raider killer for sure. Mm-hmm.
The guy, he came out of TCU. He was very underrated back coming out
Yeah.
coming into the NFL. And look what he did with the Chargers. Listen, he's in the division, but I would love
Okay,
to see
I
Lawrence
don't feel
Taylor in the
bad then.
silver and
I don't
black.
feel bad. I don't feel bad. Okay, now
Yeah.
let me ask you this though, because I like LT, but if we're going with those type of running backs, who do you think's better, LT or Marshall Faulk?
Woo!
To me, when you talk about
Complete.
Marshall,
I think Marshall.
Marshall was something different.
I think Marshall, especially because of his coming out of the backfield for the
He
passing
was
game.
something different,
Yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
See, y'all might not like this one even because it's another Raiders rival. And I wear the number 36 for a reason when I played.
Jerome Bettis?
That gives you a guess. You're damn right.
Jerome
I
Bettis?
played that position and I wore 36 for a reason.
Yeah.
I would love to see one of the greatest do it. He's still top 20 in rushing all time at number 13, by the way.
You know
But
what college
still,
you went to, right?
Notre
of
Dame.
course, with the Notre Dame, he
Dame.
wore number 3 at Notre Dame. I know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you damn, I would what to see that bowling ball on feet play for the Las Vegas Raiders? You're goddamn right.
Man, I remember
I
it was
would pick
crazy
Jerome
how
Bettis. You're damn
how
skipping.
big he was, but how quick his feet were.
Yeah.
That
I
was
think he was just for his size to be elusive that he was
yeah.
for his size.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't feel as bad then now, because I ain't gonna lie, man. Like I hate it, but I gotta say Mahomes, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Like,
I would agree.
Respectfully,
because he is just so fun to watch in a weird way, because he's just so good, and he would just, man.
Do
I don't know.
Do you have any
as a
Chiefs fans
realistic
in your
Raider
family?
fan, you just being realistic.
Yeah, but I hate saying it. It's one of them things
Yeah.
I just hate saying.
You
it,
hate
man.
saying it, but it's respectfully. Like,
Yeah.
what can you do?
I can't say it because my brother's a big Chiefs fan, so he would just go off on me saying like, "Oh, you wish you had Mahomes," but like, yeah.
Well, just imagine having a brother that's a 49ers fan.
yeah.
I have a brother. My older brother is a 49ers fan. So, the house is definitely divided at home. My father's an Eagles fan. My mom liked to see, I don't know what she liked with birds, but she definitely liked the goddamn Baltimore Ravens and the Seattle Seahawks. My brother's a 49ers fan. I'm a Raiders fan. The house is just literally divided every week. Every week, man.
I couldn't find the courage to say Mahomes, but yeah, I get it.
Trust me, it's tough. It's tough.
It's tough, man. Definitely, Marshall Faulk was one of those guys that was so different with the greatest show on turf with what was Torrey Holt and
Torrey Holt,
Kurt Warner,
Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warner. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Isaac Bruce. Oh, just imagine we had one of them on the Raiders at that time in that era. Oh, I would love to have.
Well, during that time, because we had Rice and Tim Brown. We had our speedster was Jerry Porter, and
that year,
Jerry. That year was Jerry Porter.
All right, so last topic of the podcast, and I know the NFL draft just passed, but if you could redo the first round and not get Tyree Wilson at 7, who would you get?
Oh, it's easy for me, Jalen
Carter.
Yeah, that's easy for me.
Is it who's available, or if we would have had our pick at 7?
Like, it's just if you didn't get Tyree Wilson and you had to redo the draft and the way the draft went already.
Okay, all right.
Who would you would have got at number 7?
Damn.
Ooh,
I think
Brian
I would have.
Was another one I would love to have on the Raiders.
I think I would have gone with Jalen. I'm not mad at the Tyree Wilson pick, but I think Jalen Carter would have been different, having that interior defensive tackle monster like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Jalen Carter. I think He's with the right squad. I'm not gonna lie,
Mhm.
he's with the right squad in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's where he should be.
But for me, at number 7, if I had to trade up, I would have traded up.
Oh, but you said available. You said the way it went.
I'm getting to it. Let me finish. I was getting to it. If I had a chance to trade up, I would have traded up.
For who?
What?
Yeah, that's all I know.
For me,
No,
at
who
number
would you
7 with the best available,
Mhm.
if we needed this, and people might not be happy about this, but Joey Porter Jr., man, why is we sleeping on this guy at number 7?
He went down to
top 10 corner in this league, and he fell in the second or third round.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We have a lot of uncertainty at the outside corner position, just like we did with the D tackle position.
Even Christian Gonzalez fell.
Christian Gonzalez could have been there at 7. I could have used him.
Yeah.
So it was depth for options, but I did like Porter a little bit better over Gonzalez, because if you look at what Gonzalez had to cover in the Pac-12, wasn't really them dynamic receivers. Like we had Joey Porter go up against Marvin Harrison, and Marvin Harrison had one of his worst games against Joey Porter Jr. at Penn State. Even though Ohio State won the game, but Marvin Harrison didn't go off. He didn't have the numbers that he had against anybody else in the Big Ten. So
yeah, that was shocking to me, the fact that those two corners dropped so far as they did. Yeah,
I love the defensive tackle position. I do love Carter. I understand that's the favorite. But I feel like Porter could have been a longevity, good defensive back for us, knowing what we know now that Rock Johnson is gone. Joey Porter would have definitely came in and filled in.
Was he your top corner on the board, like in the draft?
He was out of all my corners. He was the top corner in the draft for me.
More than Witherspoon?
Ooh.
Even over, see what Witherspoon played. He played what, at Syracuse or Illinois? It was Syracuse, right?
Illinois.
I like Witherspoon. I just feel like I can say he's more physical than Joey Porter, but I think when it comes to one-on-one coverage, Porter is better than him in one-on-one coverage. Just from the tape that I saw, I just feel like their defensive schemes was different. So if you put Witherspoon in cover 2 and cover 3, he dominates. But when you put him up against a big receiver on the outside, he has to get those contested interceptions or the contested throws. Joey Porter is better at that than Witherspoon is.
Yeah, but considering where he went and got picked at that far down, I don't know.
And Witherspoon he went to Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. He went to the right spot.
Yeah, he went to the right spot. I just
thought it was a bit too high. I thought he was going to go between the 6 and 8 route. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to be a top 5 pick. I didn't think that at all. But I do like Witherspoon. I think Witherspoon is going to be a great player in the NFL. But Witherspoon was picked there. So the next to best available corner for me, it was Porter and Gonzalez. That was those next two for me.
And Gonzalez went to the Patriots at what, 15? 17?
Yeah, he went 15. And Porter didn't go into the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
He was 33.
He went to Pittsburgh. So,
it worked out for him.
Who we have to play this year. It's going to be interesting to watch, though.
Yeah.
I like Jalen Carter, though. But I just...
I really wanted Christian
Gonzalez. That was the obvious pick for me.
But where we were at...
I thought that was the obvious pick.
Was who?
I would have been cool with Christian Gonzalez. I think only thing with Porter... he's so handsy and grabby. I could just see him being an issue, man. Like he just, Raiders, we get penalties anyway. He's already, I love the physicality he has, but just all that grabbing he does, man, I don't know. He scares me a little bit.
One of the reasons why I say Christian Gonzalez scares me because he didn't have no competition in Oregon.
Yeah.
You look at that Pac-12, he didn't have no you could dominate for real. If any of us was a corner in the Pac-12, we could dominate it.
I don't know.
That's how bad the receivers.
I don't know. Those fools from USC are kind of fast.
They're fast, but they ain't good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you can't tell me a wide receiver in the Pac-12 that stood out. You know, so when it comes to Weatherspoon, he played in the Big Ten. Joey Porter played in the Big Ten with competition when it comes to receivers. If you look at the last couple of years, the wide receivers came out of the Big Ten. Damn near. So, I mean, I do, but like I said before, I respect the Jalen Carter picks because that's what we need. But it would have been hard to try to. We picked Jalen Carter, or we could pick at least we got a need. Basically, we got a need with Tyree Wilson.
When we did the live, I was shocked that Tyree was there. You know, I think the Raiders did a good job in making people think they were going to get a quarterback.
Yeah,
but the quarterbacks were gone. So by the time we picked, it's like we got to pick of the defender that we want.
Yep.
You know,
what if the Raiders really got a quarterback at 7? How we would have felt?
Well, the only one that would have been left would have been Levis, and we would have been. I would have walked off the live with you.
You know how many? Oh yeah, we did have a bet. It said that we would have to walk off the live if they would have picked Will Levis.
Yeah, Max Levis was the only one left at that point.
Yeah, I would have been.
Oh, I would have loved to see his reaction. I would love to see a reaction, bro, if we would have got Will Levis at 7.
Oh man, I'm telling you, one thing about me, man, I wear it on the sleeve, man. Y'all, I probably would have cracked y'all up, man. I probably would have cracked y'all up. I would have. Oh man,
because you know what? It's so many mock drafts that I did. It all as when we get to number 7 and it said Will Levis, I said, let me do this shit again.
Let me start over. I don't like.
Oh my god, are we really going to get Will Levis at 7? I was so nervous about that.
Oh man,
I was so nervous because no matter I went to the Draft Network, Will Levis. I went to Pro Football Focus thing, Will Levis. I'm like, yo, no, we don't want this scrub. And I watched him play at Kentucky. He's a scrub.
And he dropped to the second round.
I'm surprised he dropped to the second round. I'm surprised he didn't go in the 5th. I'm surprised he didn't go in the 5th. I never was a big fan of Will Levis. He reminds me of a Baker Mayfield that had all the hype in college and didn't do nothing in the NFL. And now he's in the quarterback competition with Malik Willis in Tennessee, which I don't know if y'all saw earlier today that DeAndre Hopkins is making a visit to the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, is he really?
I hope he signs. Hope he signs.
I hope he signs with Tennessee. There's only one team I do not want Hopkins to sign with, and that's Kansas City. Yeah. If he signs with the Chiefs, bro, I'm going to lose it.
Well, according to sources that I said earlier, because I said, because I had a question on my other show, and the question was OBJ's contract is the reason why DeAndre Hopkins is not getting signed? Probably. And I said, absolutely it is, because OBJ is getting $15 million with $3 million incentives.
They don't want to give that.
And he haven't played in almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So I understand the hype around OBJ. I get it. But that's another thing, scratch off, because the Raiders is not getting OBJ either. Scratch that off too.
No parts of that.
No.
And I DeAndre Hopkins, from what I've heard, that Buffalo and Kansas City are not trying to pay him that much at the age of 30, which I don't understand, because I understand that he missed 6 games with the PED. But if you look at that, man have 1,000 receiving years with a bunch of quarterbacks you don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and remember, we even made that scenario, Leo. Just imagine if we moved up in the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we made that scenario? What if we moved up in the draft with Arizona to get that pick to send DeAndre Hopkins to us before we even got Jacoby Myers?
Yeah.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been dope. I think at that point we would have ended up with Stroud. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would have ended up with Stroud, and we would have had DeAndre Hopkins with Devontae Adams. That would have been nasty.
You're an Ohio person, Chris. Did you like Stroud?
No. Well, because the thing is, and it's you know me, I always go against the grain. I'm a Michigan fan.
Oh, that's why. Never mind. Never mind.
I always go against the grain. That's just my nature, man. So, but the thing is, as a Michigan fan, I like Stroud because he couldn't beat us. He couldn't beat us.
What about as a potential quarterback for
Justin Fields used to kick our butt? What's the dude? What's the quarterback that died? Haskins used to kick our butt. Haskins. All them dudes used to kick our butt. JT Barrett, all them used to kick. Stroud couldn't do it. We beat him down 2 years in a row, man.
Only reason why I say Stroud was probably not going to be successful because if you look at the success, what was the last successful quarterback? You can't really say Justin Fields because he's not successful yet. He's trying to get there.
He's
but if you look at the recent quarterbacks in the NFL, Ohio State quarterbacks don't never work out. Ever. It's finally starting to work out for Alabama now, but it's not. It has not worked out for Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Finally.
So, there you have it, guys, y'all. Episode 21 is in the books. Shout out to my bro for Protective Shield Podcast for coming on and having some great Raiders talk and football talk in general with us, man. It's definitely good to have you on, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I love talking ball. Like I said, had a chance to have Leo on the show a few times, man. I gotta get you over on my show, man.
Just let me know when, man. Just let me know when.
Definitely will, man. Definitely will. I like how you just you get it off your chest, man. We need more fans like that, man. Because you know these fans, they didn't. Some of them getting on my last nerve.
If you on Twitter, stay off the Raiders Twitter. That's all I
should have listened to you and stayed off because some
stayed off the Raiders Twitter. I have a whole Twitter account that has over like 1,200 followers, and I don't be on it because of the shit that they say on there.
The funniest thing was the number thing. How they reacted when O'Connell got number 4. I was like, "You're kidding me, right? This is not happening."
Lost their mind. They lost their mind.
What makes it crazy about it, bro, is that they had so much shit to say about Derek Carr when he was here. And then when somebody else gets number 4, he shouldn't get number 4. It was Derek Carr's number.
Well, no, because the ones that were mad about Carr or were mad about his number were his like loyal
followers,
members, man. Yeah. But oh man, yeah, that number thing had me. Oh man.
It still look weird on Aiden O'Connell though. It still look weird.
It does, but it's not like we retire numbers, man. Like
that's right.
We talked about that on last show.
Yeah, as a Raider fan, you get used to it. You see somebody in that number, you're used to it because we don't retire numbers.
Right. It's like, did we have this upcry about Mike Huff? Did we have this upcry about
Marshawn Lynch?
Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah, like come on.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to have this uproar about Michael Mayer wearing 87? Are we going to have that uproar about that?
That's what I'm saying.
Or when Chaz Schilling wore number 81.
Right. That's what Chaz Schilling. Wow, that's a throwback. I forgot about that.
That's definitely a throwback.
Chaz Schilling.
That's definitely a throwback. But another episode in the books, man. We could have did it yesterday, but I had so much going on yesterday.
Man, you got
I'm
the
running
game
2
today
YouTube
too.
channels. And I do play-by-play and reactions on both channels. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot with this, with the whole merch thing, my own clothing brand, all that stuff is just on top of stuff. But it is what it is, man. And I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. And I'm gonna give myself a break because I gotta get back and go live at 8:30 for Game 3 of the NBA Finals on my other channel. So the grind never stops here, man. Let everybody know where they can follow you at and where actually your YouTube link is in the description, so they can definitely see it there. But any social medias where they can find you at.
Yeah, man. I'm really not on Twitter that much, man, but like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I mean, just put in Protect the Shield podcast, man. And I'm very active on there. You know, I like to talk my crap and I'll debate with you. I'm all about having healthy debates, and I love it all. And I have a fan talk Friday, which I do, every Friday with, fans come on and we just kind of talk ball, man. So, but I really appreciate you, having me on here, man. It's been an honor.
Absolutely. And I can't wait for Reaction Mondays to come back for the Raiders games. Because my Reaction Monday phone calls, it'd be hostile in here, man. It'd be the team be divided, the nation be divided with these games on the Reaction Monday. So I can't wait to start doing those and having the call-in shows, because I definitely checked out the Fan Talk Fridays, and I like the segment. I like what you do over there.
I appreciate
it. Leo told me about it, and I went over and checked out and subscribed, and I was like, yeah, I gotta have this guy on, man, for real.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And those who don't know, like I had a real good interview with former coach Hugh Jackson, man. So if you got, if you guys like that type of stuff, getting some behind the scenes stories, He gave some good stories about Al Davis and stuff like that, and had a good interview with Stu Swaggart as well, man. So if you guys are into
Shout
that
out
type
to
of stuff,
Stu.
yes, shout out to Stu. So definitely check me out, man. Thank
Shout
you
out to
guys.
my boy Stu, man. Shout out to them as well. But make sure y'all hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, man. Y'all see the where y'all can find us at the bottom of the screen here, y'all. But thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Nothing But Raiders Podcast, episode 21. We'll be back same time, same place, y'all. We out of here. Peace, love, and blessings, and I'll see y'all later.